Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Today we are taking a look at the second place list from the special event in Spain last weekend. This deck was piloted by Pedro Vicencio. Did a wonderful job in the tournament, so I've been excited to take a look. A lot of people been really enjoying the pure straight Pult build lately, taking out the Dust Noirs, not messing around with anything else so that we can throw in a bit of extra tech cards like the Genesect, the Munkidori, other versions, lots of tool cards. This version, not so much, because the straight Pult has been doing extremely well into every matchup except for Gardevoir, which is a big part of why we have seen Gardevoir win the last three major events. It is doing incredibly well right now, and the tool version of the straight Pult deck kind of just runs into a wall with Gardevoir, where they can set up Bravery Charms on things like Lily's Clefairy, onto their other bigger Pokemon, that just kind of creates a board state where Dragapult just isn't doing enough damage to take knockouts, and then all of that damage is flying back with Munkidoris, and it just makes it a very, very difficult matchup. So this list is kind of more of an answer into Garde, while remaining strong into the rest of the meta as well. You're losing a little power, so there's no Genesect because there's no Arvins, so there's no way to tutor out the tool cards that you need in order to get the Genesect online, and then also we're not playing any tools at all because we are running 2 copies of Jamming Tower to help answer into Gardevoir and a few other matchups that are heavily relying on tools right now. So instead we have a very thick supporter line. We've got 4 Iono, 4 Brock Scouting, 4 Boss. Pedro's list had 4 Research. I personally have cut one of the Research from this list. This could also be, you could cut a Brox instead if you really want the 4 Research, in favor of Maractus. This guy saw a lot of action in Spain. A lot of decks right now are relying on Latias, or they're not running as many Switch or Turos as they should be. So Maractus is kind of, for the time being, a really good reset, panic kind of way to just slow the game back down. If it's getting too aggressive too quickly and you haven't had a chance to develop your board yet, Maractus can really just kind of slow the game down for a couple turns, let you develop your board a little bit longer, and then you can go back in at a time of your choosing. This is also really, really good into Joltik box. You can even get into situations where they just can't do anything. If their bench is full, so that they can't place down the Iron Leaves, then you're just kind of using corner, building up damage, then switching into, so you're just building up damage on, say, like Latias, and then you switch over to the Fezandipiti, you just build up on damage on Fezandipiti, and then you switch over to, like, hands, and then you just punch, and you're knocking out the hands, you're knocking out the Latias, you're knocking out the Fezandipiti, taking a 6 prize turn. Doesn't happen often. The Joltik box player really has to not be paying attention to their resource management for that to come up, but the Maractus is an awesome answer into that matchup either way. Something that they really have to pay attention to, and that not every Pult deck is running right now, so it can come in clutch. We still got the same energy split that you've been seeing with the 3 Luminous, the 2 Psychic, the 2 Fire. But for our Ace spec, we have the Neo Upper, which I love. I love this version of this deck. I think the Neo Upper feels great. It's awesome to be able to just switch and then go from having a no energy board to suddenly you're swinging with Dragapult in the same turn. Feels really, really good. It feels like you can be a bit more responsive. It's just kind of an amazing card to have, provided you're able to draw into it. That is kind of the downside of this list. There's no way to tutor out the Neo Upper energy, so you're ripping Researches, you're ripping Ionos, you're just trying to see all of your cards pretty much as quickly as possible. But this is a list that allows you to do that. And then you can typically get down a couple Dreepies, get a Brock Scouting, get some Drakloaks going. You don't care so much about item lock, and then you're just recon directing until you get to a point where you feel like you can either respond to your opponent's attack or make the first move of your own, because you also have the 4 copies of Boss. So having that early game Boss to take out 2 key prizes with Phantom Dive is highly likely to happen. So you can get a bit more aggressive with this deck. And it just feels, for my playstyle, feels really, really good. I love ripping through my deck. I love seeing a ton of cards and being a lot more in control of when I get to decide to go in. You still do have to play the Budew game a bit. So you got your 2 copies of Budew, of course, and if you're getting into a Budew war with like another Dragapult deck or another Gardevoir deck, you have to be careful because you don't have the Bravery Charm to bail you out, but you do still have an early game Monkey with a Luminous to kind of keep that Budew war going a bit longer, so that you can still develop your setup. Missing the Genesect does hurt a bit, but being able to make up for it by just developing your board incredibly quickly, I haven't noticed it too much. Although, to be fair, I haven't had a ton of matchups into Golden Go yet, so you have yet to see how that lineup feels. I could see that being kind of a big pain point for this deck. But that's enough yapping. Let's hop right into some games so we can see how this rips. My name's Jared. I'll be your gameplay nurse today. Alright, so our opponent had a mulligan. I got to see them a little bit, and it looks like we have pretty much a mirror match here. Looks like they were also running very potentially Turbo Pult, so I'm going to throw away my Jammy and get the Ultra Ball going so that we can get another Dreepy on the bench. Let's do a quick prize check. We prized 1 Drakloak. We got both Budews, Bear, Fez, Guy, Bird, Cactus, Monkey. Prized 2 bosses. That's kind of brutal. Got both Ionos. Prized a Brock. Prized an Ultra Ball. And that's probably it. Yeah, all our energies here. Prized a Buddy-Buddy. Not too bad, not too bad. Get this ripping. And we'll pass over to them, see how their opening hand treats them. Nice that we got to attach an energy on turn 1. That always feels really good. If you have to go first, if you can still get an energy down at the very least, you're not doing too bad. We used our Ultra Ball there, since we know for sure we're getting item locked. If I had had like a Buddy-Buddy and 2 Dreepies already, I would have Ultra Balled for our Drakloak instead, just to have it in hand. You know, high potential that we're getting Iono'd, but we're gonna be item locked no matter what, so better just to have it than to draw into an Ultra Ball later that we can't use, or just be sitting with 1 in hand that we can't use. They got their Monkey established. Would have liked that on our end. It's going to help with the Budew War since we don't run Bravery Charm in the Turbo Pult build. We don't have that as like our band-aid to survive the Budew War a long time. Nice research there. So they saw a lot more cards than we did, and they got to go second, of course. So that's okay, they got the Neo attached already. So if we can get set up and we can get a boss and take that out, we'll be cooking. Jammy's in place. Again, not a ton of reason to play it, especially if it's a complete mirror match. Let's see, they researched and then only attached a Neo there. I wonder how good their hand is. I mean, not like there was much more setup that they needed at that point. Well, let's see, what do we got in hand? Countercatcher, Iono, Jammy. I'm not too stressing about all of that, so I think we'll just see a new 7 cards, leave them with whatever they drew. Okay. We could get the Lumi on you. Would prefer to have it on a Monkey. But that's where we're at. I'm not going to bench Fez until I kind of get more of an idea of how their board's developing. I could have maybe held... I should have held the Luminous there and attached a Fire to Dreepy instead. in case I draw into a way to get Munkidori this turn. That was, if I had a time machine, I'd go back and change that. So, about this mirror, we're choosing when to go in based on how well we can get set up and how well they're getting set up. If they're not putting a lot of pressure on us, then we can kind of chill out. We don't need to put a lot of pressure back on them. However, we are going to lose our Budew this turn. That does add to the pressure. I'm going to... I think I want to push Dreepy here because I can Latias my way out of this if I absolutely need to panic. But potentially, the hope is that we can draw Drakloak or Dragapult off of Fez here. There he is. Okay, so we're kind of cooking now. So we can get this going. I'm just gonna bench Latias here so that I can retreat the Dreepy before I evolve it and keep that energy in play. And we'll just Drakloak as well. Stinks that we never got our monkey set up, but honestly, taking out their Neo here just feels so good that we're probably going to be okay without it. Yep, I'm going to knock this fella out. Obviously, Lucha would have been amazing. Take out their Dreepy as well. Beggars can't be choosers. Just happy we're taking out their Neo. And then I think we'll just split 2 on each. Just because they do have that monkey in play. So you can kind of see, like, that's sort of the decision point to go in there. I had the Dragapult, I had the boss. They had a very important card in play already. So it's like, I'm going to get aggressive there. Like, that's always the play. If I had whiffed the Dragapult, if I didn't have the boss, say I got the Dragapult but not the boss, all I can do is swing in a Dreepy. I would probably consider just kind of chilling out and just keeping the 2 Drakloaks and then drawing for another turn, maybe seeing if I can hopefully get into another Budew. Probably won't, though, to be honest. But then that gives them access to items, which is really rough. So it's a tough decision to make, especially without the Bravery Charm. We were always going to lose that Budew War because they were able to get Munkidori set up and we weren't. So knowing that, I was kind of planning on becoming more aggressive a bit more sooner. Just because we did whiff on the monkey. Okay. So now the Lucha shows up. Which honestly is pretty good because we can bench Lucha unless they have to move the damage off Drakloak here, right? Like, that has to be the play. It would be absolutely wild if they did not do that. Yeah, okay. Would have been too easy of a game otherwise. Okay, so we're itchy, so no items. I don't like bench locking ourselves so much here. If I could bench, I would bench lock myself to take out the Drakloak, but I don't know if it's necessarily worth it to take out a Dreepy. We don't have a Gust. Whiffed on a boss. Well, 2 of our bosses are prized, and then now they're on the bottom of the deck, right? We drew into one. What did we lose off the Iono? Yeah, one's on the bottom of the deck. Okay. Anyway. So we for sure Brock's here. Do we get another Dreepy? Or do we go Monkey? Or another Drakloak, I mean. What did they put? Put damage on Latias. I don't care about that so much. Okay, let's recon here. Nice, so we can get our next Dragapult set up. Especially because they're going to be able to punch our Pult first. Which we do run the Turos and everything, but that's just going to kind of smell. And then because they have Monkey, we don't really want to do like the 30-30 split. Honestly, knocking Budew here at all feels kind of bad because then we're just giving them Fez again. So we could pass here as well and just hopefully draw into boss again next turn. So we don't really need to use items this turn. And we don't want to give them Fez or bench space. So we're just going to pass here. See if we can recon into boss next turn. See what they're able to get going. Alright, so they probably got a Pult here for sure. Yep. Okay. They're going to be Pult punching. And then we're going to be Pult punching. We might need to get Monkey going on this turn in order to save our energy Drakloak. Nice research. Okay. Countercatcher's not live, thankfully. Okay. And they continue to itchy. Okay. Interesting. No, that gives us Monkey, so that's really nice. But they protected their energy. Let's just recon first before we decide what to do with Monkey. Nice, got the boss, okay. And we already have a Brox, right? Yeah, we'll just hold. Let's grab the bear, hold on to it. Okay, so we Monkey for Luminous. I think we boss up, pull up their Pult, and then kill the Dreepy, honestly. Knock out the Dreepy. And I do like the Monkey here. That's Adrenabrain. And let's just grab their Pult and punch it. And then they'll either need to Turo or they get knocked out next turn. All of the enough to knock out, please. And then we'll put one on the Fez. And that really forces them into a pretty tough situation. Yep, good game. Good game. Alright, going second into the Munkidori Frost Lass. This deck has been seeing some pretty good success at regionals lately. Taking pretty consistent like top 16 finishes. So going to be interesting to see how it matches up against Turbo Pult here. Personally, I have not put much thought or time into researching this deck. I know that it's a spread, de-evolution type of situation. Other than that, haven't really paid any attention to it. So I'm going into this match pretty blind. Price to Turo. Alright, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. So we'll kind of, you know, not 100% on what to expect, but I'm feeling like I'm going to want a Monkey. I don't like benching the Latias here. I'm going to admit that right now. But I really want to get that energy on Monkey, and I want to get Budew into the active. So to me, that feels at least like an even trade. It doesn't feel like a good trade, but it feels like an even trade. I think that Latias is definitely a huge liability into this matchup. But I think we kind of just need to have our own Monkey online. So that's kind of the justification there. But again, I don't know this matchup very well, so we'll see if that ends up biting us or not. Yeah, I mean, okay, they got the corner as well. We do have 2 Turos, so we have outs to that. We did prize one of them. We've seen that. But we're not going to get forever Maractus. I remember to cut that out. I just smashed the boom on my mic. I'll try to pay close attention to everything that we got going on into this matchup. Early Frostlass, they gotta be happy about that. Maybe Budew's just terrible into this deck. Maybe benching Budew is like a bait here. I mean, that's pretty much just one prize whenever they want it. I would imagine that would be near the end of the game, and they would never knock it out early. But maybe I'm just dead wrong. You never know. Okay. Got our Neo in hand. I'm really surprised that they benched a Budew but didn't actually Budew me here. Okay. I don't think we ever Hawlucha in this matchup. And I probably want to be careful about what? I don't know. How many Drakloaks we start? Because that's going to be damage piling up really quickly. We might have to go into a really early Dragapult and just start swinging. I don't... well, they do run the Devo. Although Boss would have been pretty nice too. We'll jam for now. And then let's just move damage onto... off of Budew to make it seem like we really care about Budew, I guess. Put it here for now. Do I bench this Dreepy? I think that's fine. And let's just Luminous here. And we'll Itchy. I think this, yeah, I think this is definitely a matchup where I would start swinging pretty quickly. Especially if I can get, well, I'm going to get 30 damage that I can put on their monkey. So if I can knock both monkeys this next turn, I'm absolutely going to be doing that. Having this, actually having Latias in play that I can have damage like to throw back whenever I want is this where we see Budew go down. We'll just feed up a Dreepy if that's the case. I can't imagine that's the right thing to do. I wonder if they run Psychic Energy. I'm gonna pull up I'm gonna pull up the top placing list from Seville and see give myself a little bit more information to go off of here. Because I honestly just, yeah, I don't really know what to expect. Let's see, it took 6, Arthur Vincent's list. Okay, so they don't run, Arthur ran 1 Luminous. So that's a potential for a Mind Bend. That's the only thing I can see in the deck that the Luminous makes sense for. 2 Devos, 1 Counter Gain, 1 Gravity. Okay, so Jamming's actually pretty good here. Alright, so they're angry at my... Counter Catcher doesn't help much. Dragapult, please. Thank you. Evolve here. Go here. Let's Adrenabrain first. I think I'll just knock Budew so that we can Dragapult something else. Nice. Not going to evolve the active so that we can retreat it. And I'd take a boss. Okay. Guess that's fine. And let's retreat and start swinging, I guess. I mean, it does feel kind of bad giving their monkeys more damage to work with. We're probably going to lose. I could Brox for a Drakloak. Would that save the Dreepy? 10. Be at out of 90, about 70 health left. So potentially, yeah. Save it for one turn at least. Does become more of a counter catcher liability though. Take that research for sure. Okay, happy with that. Do we just jet headbutt here? So that way we don't take exploding needles damage and it gets knocked out between turns. And we don't give their monkeys a bunch of crap to work with. Okay, take a prize. Thank you. All right, all right, all right. Oh, this one doesn't even have an energy. I didn't even realize that. I was looking at the list last turn. Counter gain's just colorless though. The counter gain must only be for either Maractus or Ursaluna. Yeah, and that makes sense. Are they just gonna pass after that or what? Well, they got Adrenabrain still. Did we did not prize a Dragapult, I don't think. So we should be able to attach Neo, research, get another Dragapult in play, and then knock out that Snorant. I think that'll feel pretty good. What are we knighting for here? Budew? Maractus, of course. Like I said, we do have the Turos. So we're not uber stressing about the corner play. Prefer not to have to go that route, but it's available to us. I don't understand benching the Budew again. That's not hitting for me as a good option. We're gonna be able to move 40 damage over. Monkey goes to 70. Drakloak goes to 50. So nothing gets knocked this turn. Oh, I hope we win the Dragapult gamble. That would be quite good, actually. Otherwise, we could be discarding a Neo. Which... we do still have to be mindful of the Devo play. How many? They run 2 Artisans, so we do lose the tower or the stadium war. If that's the route they want to go. And we're worried about 90 damage build up on Dragapult. So we need to be mindful of that. Retreat. Oh, we're going to get cornered here. Okay, so now for sure we need to hit. We're going to hit it though. We're going to hit it. Okay, we got the charms coming out. Stretcher for what? It used to show you, right? Like, it used to actually show you what they were stretchering for in the animation. Or am I crazy? No corner, so we can retreat if we need to. Got the fire. Let's go ahead and recon first. Rock scouting's pretty good. Recon here, see if we even need to use it though. Okay, that's not very helpful. Okay, so we Neo, Brox for Dragapult, and then just punch, blow up this too. Do we monkey the... But then I just really don't want to get Iono to 1, but getting Iono to 2 is not much of a difference. Make sure that Dragapult's in here first. This goes up to... I don't think we're too worried about a big Devo play or nothing. I'm just gonna keep Monkey out of range. Do we knock the Budew here? Anything else we put? We could just knock the Frostlass instead, and then that forces them to have the Frostlass. Then at least they need to get the out to it. 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see, 80. Don't need that. And we'll just throw one here. Oh, we do take the exploding needles damage. So I guess this Pult is now in Devo range. And so is that Pult. But we do have Bear. Right? This list runs Bear, right? Am I tweaking? No, for sure this list runs Bear. What am I thinking of? Doesn't run Genesect, so maybe that's what I'm getting confused with. So they can counter catcher up our other Drakloak. I think, how many Night Stretchers have they used at this point? That had to have been all of them, right? Oh, 2? Why did I think that there was way more Night Stretchers used than that? They could counter catcher our other Drakloak and do the Maractus play again. But at the very least, we do have Turos in hand now. And they used Arven, so we're not getting Iono at all. So I think they didn't get Devo. Both their monkey, so they would need energy for it anyway. Oh, they could do the Budew play. Ultra Ball for Frostlass. Never mind, they're not trapping anything with gravity. What's the win con? What am I not seeing? Like, what line are they still playing towards? They have Unfair Stamp that they haven't used yet? That coming out? Yeah, I've not played an ace. Okay, is this the Devo play? Do they have enough? No, they don't have enough damage to knock both Pults. Because they can only get my other Pult up to 60. 70 with the Frostlass. They're just randomly throwing monkey energy. Like, yeah, you knock my active, but then you just lose. Now you're retreating. Are they just trolling at this point? Like, are they just mad and they're inting? I'm confused. Okay, alright. We're all a little confused. Good game.